What's up guys, ABC Matt here. Today is not a reselling video per se. I have spent 3 days doing Comic-Con festivities. So reselling, sourcing took a sidetrack, and I had fun, by the way. So if you want to know more about Comic-Con, I've been to San Diego Comic-Con multiple times. I did New York Comic-Con a couple of times, and I did a local one, which is Rose City Comic-Con, a few times too. So if you want to learn tips and tricks on that, let me know. But this one's going to be another floating head video.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
You know, I mentioned before in past videos that I don't do floating head videos, and you know, sure enough, I'm doing another one right now. So with that being said, I wanted to do a video just to talk more about reselling, and basically it's more for the newbies who are curious about reselling. Now I look at past videos of, you know, a lot of different channels, and they really don't go in depth with to get introduced you to reselling. They give you bits and pieces. And disclaimer, I'm not an expert by all means, but I feel like there got to be some kind of video content to talk to people about the intro 101s of reselling. So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit. Also, just for you guys to know, I do have a video, I'm going to put it up right here, of me going on a cruise ship and talking about reselling for the introduction and more in depth and what transpires and everything like that. So go check that one out. So if you want to go into reselling, there's a few things you got to know. One, it's not all daisies and cakes and fairies. I mean, it's hard work. It's a lot of hard work. You got to start off making like minimum wage till you build a following, and then once you build a following, then you earn a little bit more. Potentially you could earn a decent amount, but for the most part you're gonna start off rocky. It's just like social media. You gotta build a following, you gotta put in the hard work, you gotta show consistency, and then you'll be in the money. So now that we got the disclaimer out of the way, now let's talk about workspace. You need a dedicated workspace environment where you have a dedicated desk with your computer, electronics, what have you. You need a space to take photos, because photos is the key. And then you need some kind of area to store your items. Now the storage area, it depends how much items you're going to be selling, and then how you're going to organize it. Is it just going to be a certain section with hats, certain section for glass, or are you going to label it with stickers, or are you going to label it by like numbers and letters? You got to figure out what works best for you. So that being said, going back to the pictures. Now the pictures are the key to get good sales. It's all about the title and the pictures and the description. So the title should be short and sweet, but very descriptive. And in description, be as descriptive as you can. You don't want to give any reason to the buyer to return it or misinformed of what the item is. And the picture says 1,000 words, so make sure you take good pictures. Any flaws, zoom in and show it. I also forget to mention about the work environment a little bit more. It has to make sense. It has to flow correctly, because if it's disorganized, you got kind of loathe doing the work. So you want to make sure it's good flow to it. You know where everything is, because you don't need it to be chaotic. Especially when you source, you know, the items you source, it might get chaotic. You know, they call it a death pile. You're going to hear death pile a lot. People has, you know, begrudgingly the loathing to actually list items. So it just sits there in their place. I think that death piles should be minimized. Some people might think otherwise. They think of, you know, they have inventory when it's slow and they can't source. For me, anything that sits there not making money, not have potentially making money, that's a death pile to me, and I can't have that. Partly because I have a small space, but that's a different story. Now, another thing you're gonna hear people say is, you know, when listings last too long and it hasn't sold, they they, cancel their listing and relist it again. Now, some say that that works, some say that it doesn't. Honestly, anyone who says that it works or it doesn't work is kind of, in my opinion, kind of full of baloney, because you can't gauge that unless you have two exactly the same individuals with the same amount of following, with the same wording on the listing, with the same pictures, and then have them listed simultaneously, and you can see if it works for them as opposed to you. Also, because if you don't have that simultaneous mirror image, you're only speculating that worked or didn't work. So that's my opinion about that. Now we talk about especially eBay with promoting listings. Some people say it works, some people doesn't. That is a judgment call. I wouldn't suggest you, I hope eBay's not listening to this, don't go by their suggested promotional percentage for promoting your listings. I do 2%. Most people who do promoted listings do the 2 to 5. Some people don't do it at all. For me, it works out. It gets me, what promoted listing does is it basically shoots you on the top of similar items on the list when people search for a particular item. Now eBay, when I went to their conference, they were kind of dancing around the situation when I gave them hypothetical scenarios of how the promotional listings are effective and not effective based on the percentage that you do. But let's just say you do 2%, you sold something for $20, eBay takes their cut, and then they take a separate cut for the promotional percentage that you do. So bear that in mind when you list. So those are the things, like the basics that people should know. So we talked about that. Let's go over sourcing. So sourcing, you got to find out what's good for you, right? Is it garage sales? Is it estate sales? Is it Goodwill bins? Is it thrift stores? You got to see what works for you. Each one is their own animal. Each one has its own negatives and positives. You just got to make sure that you're buying something and you can make a profit off of it. Now, people would tell you on the videos about sell-through rate, and they will come up with a formula to do the sell-through rate. Me, I don't overcomplicate things. I look at how many listings there are of that particular items, and then how many that sold. If it's a lot of traction and a lot been sold, then great. If it's a lot of listings and not many sold, then that's a bad sell-through rate. So you want to take a look at that as well. Now, sourcing wise, you got to see what works for you. I say start with something you love, something that you're knowledgeable about, just to get the ball rolling. So for me, I'm knowledgeable about cards, right? Sports cards, non-sport cards. So that's what I started off with. I know the industry, I know the prices, I know the channels it goes through. So it was easy to start reselling with that. Once you get a feel of that with the platform you're using, then you can start doing other things. But bear in mind, you're gonna make mistakes. So, you might take a loss here and there until you build knowledge and you understand it more. So start off with things you love, things that you're knowledgeable about, that way it puts you ahead of the competitors. And then, whatever interests you, just learn up on it, because this industry, this job, you're always learning. I don't care if you've been doing it for 20, 30 years, you're still learning. That would never stop. Just try to minimize the mistakes, but at the beginning, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes. For me, for instance, I say, oh, these brass items are cool, let me pick them up. And then it turns out it sits there and I take a loss. So don't be afraid to make losses, because it's a learning experience. So we got sourcing down, we got the selling and the disclaimer and stuff like that. Another thing we probably want to talk about is probably social media. Now you guys see what works for you, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. If you want to promote items or your store, you got to figure out how to do that. But I mean, honestly, the best social media to learn everything is YouTube. There's nothing in YouTube you can't find, minus what I just said early in the video, that no one actually did like a sort of one-on-one of reselling. Even this one, I have to admit, this video is kind of crappy, but I want to put something out there for people just to listen in on. Even if you're an expert, maybe you want to have some pity on me and watch this video, or you learn something as well. But I appreciate you guys. And then we were talking about social media more, like, if you're a YouTuber reseller, geez, honestly, I don't suggest you do that, even though I do that, just because YouTube resellers compared to regular resellers, oh my God, it's like night and day. Like, resellers strictly, their blinkers are on, they have tunnel vision, they know what they want to get, they're on a mission. YouTube resellers is like, I gotta make content, I gotta find stuff for the video and stuff like that. It's a different mindset. So I suggest you do reselling and not YouTube videos for reselling. But if you do go down that hole of YouTube, just if you're new to social media, frankly, I mean, you're gonna get a lot of trolls, you're gonna get a lot of comments. A lot of them are not constructive, so you gotta just make sure that you don't take it personally. I call the people who are trolls keyboard warriors, because they think they're a warrior, but they're behind a screen. There's no repercussions, stuff like that. So, but let them be, because they want to feed off your energy, and don't give them that power. But the advantages of YouTube, I would say, is like, for me, for instance, when I go to estate sales, as I'm editing my video, I notice I missed something. So I will go day 2 and I know exactly where it is and see if it's still there. Also, what I do is I personally go through a estate sale company and I say, hey, I'll advertise you if you hook me up, and scratch my back, I scratch yours. Oh, by the way, I'm going to show you a reseller meetup clip right now. It's something that I'm coordinating, just the network and everything. So I hope people who are interested to sign up so I could get a head count. So you'll see a short intermission about it, and then we'll go back to the video. Some say exciting news, guys. I'm doing a reseller meetup May 8th and 9th of 2026. And what you want to do is go to eventbrite.com, eventbrte.com. In the search bar, you're going to type PNW, which is Pacific Northwest, reseller meetup in the search bar. And after you hit the search bar and you search for it, you should scroll down a little bit and you'll see the PNW reseller meetup there for May 8th, starting at 2 p.m. In there, you want to hit check availability. All the information is there, by the way, of the itinerary for Friday and Saturday, and then a little description about the event, a little YouTube short that I have in there, and then you should hit the check availability button in there. After you checked it off, you're gonna hit the Friday or Saturday that you're gonna come to the meetup, and then reserve your seating, because I need to know the head count. Appreciate it, guys. So again, guys, check out my cruise video right here. It will explain more about more in depth of what reselling is, and help you along the way. And I got good feedback from it too, so I know it's pretty good. One of my few good videos, but check it out and let me know what do you think. And my door is always open. You want to talk about reselling, I'm there for you, just like many others are there for me. So it's a good community. If you do reselling, good luck, and hope things turn out well. With that said, also, please like and subscribe. You know the deal with YouTube. Like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit that viewing hours, and I appreciate all of you guys. And hopefully next week I have a good video to show you.